Hi all, how are you all doing? So today I am here to talk about a book review. Since the past few years, I was not able to read a lot of non-academic books because I had to prepare for some competitive examinations. So when 2020 started, one of the most important goals that I made was that this year I am going to complete 30 books, non-academic books. And then the pandemic hit us, so all our plans went for a toss, and so I decided to increase that number up to 50. The book that we are going to talk about today is A Thousand Splendid Suns, written by Khaled Hosseini. So let's begin. I know most of you must be thinking that this book has already been out since so many years, so why am I reading it now? So that is because, as I already said, I had not got any time to read these kinds of wonderful books because I had to study a lot of other stuff, and so that is why I have picked up this book first of all, because it was lying in my bookshelf since very long. So initially, let us talk about the author. So Khaled Hosseini has written many works, out of which three are his most popular works, which are in the form of like popular novels or books, you can say. The Kite Runner, A Thousand Splendid Suns, and The Mountains Echoed. I have read all three now. If I have to attempt to rank them, I would say that And the Mountains Echoed is a very good book, The Kite Runner is a great book, but A Thousand Splendid Suns is beyond amazing. And I think the author has outdone himself in this book. It is a masterpiece, it is a literary masterpiece, and it has the power to move you in ways that you could not even imagine. At least I couldn't. So let us just begin with the book review itself. So when I finished reading this book, it was a very moving experience for me. I was so moved that initially I picked up my pen, I picked up my copy, and I wrote a book review of around 5 to 6 pages. And I think most of the matter is taken from that note only. During the course of reading this book, tears had rolled down my eyes, not once, not twice, but so many times that I couldn't even keep account. This story is definitely extremely heart wrenching. It is a book that will undoubtedly break your heart, mostly slowly, but sometimes very sharply. It will move you, it will unsettle you, and if I might say, it can also disturb you. Usually, I am a person who deliberately avoids to watch such movies or read such books which have a very heart wrenching kind of a storyline, and where the sole purpose of the writing is to bring tears to your eyes. I really avoid those kinds of material, but not this one, because this is not the same. In this story, there is nothing which is over the top or which is totally exaggerated just to arouse pity in your heart. No, this flows like such a smooth story, and it is the actual reality of people who are living in war-torn countries. So like for us, certain areas of this world immediately strike to us as like war-torn, but for so many millions of people, they are their actual homes, where they don't have to only survive, but they have to nurture their personalities, they have to actually grow up there. And so this story is written from their perspective, how a war or a destruction can completely alter the lives of the ordinary or normal human beings like you and me, who are living at a place. And somewhere I think the theme of the book, apart from many other themes that it encompasses, is that how unnecessary wars are, and how a war can actually destroy the lives of so many people involved in that place or in that zone. So yeah, that is the premise of this book. It is set in Afghanistan, and it covers the story from around 1950s, 1960s to up till almost 2000s. So it covers a span of around 50 to 60 years, which is also the age span of the characters which are in this book. So you'll see the trajectory of a character from when she's very young until like she's up to almost 60 years of age, because that is the time period which this book covers. Now, there is a lot to learn from this work of literature, both for a reader and a writer. The art of storytelling is at a level which I see very rarely in books. Credit must be given to the author for such a smooth flow of the storyline that you don't even see when so many new characters have been added, when so many events have been happening all the time simultaneously, and the page would feel so simple, but once you read it, your heart would feel so heavy and you won't understand why. Like, it was such a simple conversation that you just read, then why are you feeling this way? That is the brilliance of the author that he has showcased in this book. And I think one of the spectacular things that the author has done is that he has shown us the depth of the characters through very plain conversations and observations. That is what makes the reader root for the character. When any dreadful thing befalls the character, you are the one who is feeling the pain, and you just want to get up from your seat, you want to run up to that person, you want to pick them up, you want to tell them that they have been so courageous and that life can be unfair sometimes, and you want to tell them to not give up. And that is the kind of connection that you actually develop with almost all the characters, but mostly with Maryam. And this brings us to Maryam's character. Maryam is going to stay in my mind for a very, very long time, while her place has been already etched in my heart forever. I will always remember her whenever I'm going through a difficult time or a period of distress, maybe. Her journey has been marked with a lot of things, but mostly with the fact that how unjust the circumstances and situations of life have been to her. I think the only thing that would have made Maryam very happy was towards the end of her life, when she actually turns brave and she actually stands for something, albeit it is for a very, very short period of time. The two main things that I want to talk about her, the first thing that I have learned is that you should always try to be fair with people, even if life has not been anything but unfair to you. This is all about compassion. What Maryam believes in is that an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind, but she has not always been this ideal her life. She was also bitter because of the circumstances that were there. But I think she learned this. I think that is the first thing that I have learned. And the second thing is not directly from her character in the book, but it's like a derived kind of a quality. Don't ever feel that you don't deserve something only because you couldn't have it in your past. For example, if some person has grown up devoid of love or care or compassion or maybe materialistic things, then we tend to become like someone like maybe we don't deserve it, but actually we all do. We all deserve so much better and we all deserve so much more, but because we've not seen that those things in our life, we think that we are not made for it, but we are made for everything. And that is the second and most important thing that Maryam's character taught me. Now, coming to another character, Jaleel, who is actually Maryam's father in this book. From him, I've learned that whenever you want to do something good for someone, don't delay it. Like, you don't know what might happen tomorrow. You can't make plans about it. If you want to do something good, just go ahead with the plan and do it as soon as possible. Another thing that I've learned is that never let anyone suffer because of your character, and don't kind of betray anybody, especially if that person is the one who sees you through rose tinted glasses and who values you a lot and who actually trusts you with their life or trusts you with their decisions. And I think it is very, very important to not betray people and not let them down in the first place. And now coming to the second most important character of the book, which is Layla, another female character in the book. And basically the book is about how Maryam's and Layla's life kind of get intertwined, and even though they are from separate places, separate families, etc. Layla is a perfect daughter and a mother and a lover and a companion, and she always stands for herself. She is never without grit. And the other thing that I liked about her was that how she is so loving in the harshest of circumstances, and her love is basically without bounds. She knows what her potential is, and she even tries to overreach her potential, which is so motivating because the circumstances are such that she's not even made to live a normal life, and still she goes beyond that and tries to become something which her father always wanted her to be. And the last thing that I would like to say is that she also taught me how to always remember the good memories and the fond memories of the people who were always there for you. And even though they might not be with you today, but whenever you are feeling low or maybe you are feeling down, then you should always derive some kind of hope or some kind of positivity from all those happy memories that you spent with those people in the past. So after Jaleel, Maryam and Layla, time to learn something from Tariq, one of the few good male characters of this book. Tariq's character is so good, it's so amazing, makes you want to meet a guy like Tariq, makes you want to actually know a person like him. The greatest thing that Tariq's character strikes me with is how he is able to stand up to bullies and how he is able to stand up to the worst circumstances just for the person he loves. And Tariq knows how to keep the promises that he has made to someone, and that was so lovely and so inspiring that it was amazing to read about that person. Some other things that I liked about Tariq was how he is very progressive and way ahead of his time, and how he actually respects the opinions of his partner and supports her, that is Layla. She is the one he loves, both passionately and honestly. He is ready to work beyond his capabilities just to provide for the people whom he actually values in his life. He is strong and sensitive. He is protective and caring. He is liberating and anchoring. And I think these contrasts and the combination of these contrasting qualities in one person is what makes his character so complete and so lovable. And I really think that you are going to be surprised by his character in this book. So yeah, that's all about the characters and what all I learned from them. You will be amazed to know how the goodness in this book will kind of touch you, even though the major portion of this book is just filled with terror, fear, and hatred and agony and disappointment, and sometimes just plain injustice. So that will make you think that how important goodness is and how it has the ability to touch you even amongst all the evilness. That is what the book teaches you, I think, in the end, to be good, to be compassionate, and to be emotionally available to the people who are there in your life. I think I will keep coming back to this book time and time again. I've already been to it twice after reading it once, and that has all happened this year itself. So I think it is a wonderful book, and I would highly recommend it to all those who are interested in reading this. I think you should just go for it. And all those who have already read this book, please do write in the comments below how you found this book to be. And if you've not read it, then also you can comment if you feel like you are going to be reading it anytime soon. It is going to be one of my favorite reads for a very, very long time. That was all about this book. And in the next book review video, we will talk about another book. So till then, stay safe, stay home, keep reading. Bye. Tariq, Tariq, Tariq. Tariq, but Tariq, Tariq, but Tariq.